The scripting languages are typically are called interpreter language. I'll explain what is interpreter. Interpreter languages. Okay. When it comes to programming languages, okay, those are called compile based languages. Now you should get an idea what is a scripting language, what is a program. Okay. When it comes to scripting, right, okay, you will not be compiling the code in the scripts, guys. You check any of the scripting, okay, you don't find any compile case. You will be directly executing a script. You don't have a binary format of your script. You always have a source format, okay. So execute no compilation, okay, and here any programming language, Java, C Sharp, whatever, okay, you have a compile phase and you have a binary, okay, and that binary you execute it, okay, but when it comes to scripting, you don't have any binary, you will be directly executing a source file itself, okay. So whenever you execute any source file in the scripting, right, okay, so the source file will be executed line by line, okay. So when it's executing it line by line, right, whatever the, suppose sometimes you write in a source code functions, okay, so when you write any function definition at the bottom and function declaration in the beginning, okay, it will successfully complete in the programming language but it will fail in the scripting language. The reason it is, scripting language is interpreter language. It will scan line by line and executes it. When it is scanning line by line, right, if it scans a third line where it have function declaration, okay, and definition are somewhere in the bottom, right, so it will fail there. The reason it is unable to find the definition of it. But it comes to programming, it is not executing the code in the compile phase, okay, it is generating a binary. Where it is generating a binary, everything is in the memory while it is loading it, so it will not fail. It is having some state information, okay. So but when it comes to scripting, there is no state information. It's just like, running the command. Scripting is always something like running the command. Programming is not like that. It will be having the objects and their states, and it maintains the scope of the state and all. It has so many things to develop it. That's the reason we make use of the programming language to develop the business applications, okay. But scripting is not useful to develop the business application, but we use scripting to automate the system automation. What do you mean by system automation is, you want to perform some sort of a system activities, like copying the files, deleting them, like localizing them, moving them, okay. So these kind of things are system related things, okay. So any system automation, it is good to go out with the scripting. Any kind of business application development, it is good to go out with the programming language, okay. So this is what the difference between mostly like a scripting and the programming, okay. Scripting is an interpreter nothing but executes or scans line by line of your code, okay. Compile based is not like that. You will generate a binary, then it proceeds, okay. Now let's proceed with a high level program, okay. So how to write a simple shell script. So a shell script is a very lightweight program, okay, lightweight script, okay. And I'll just start showing you the things here. Let's take this machine. Okay, Impedia shell scripts. I just entered into a directory, so I'm there in some home Harry shell scripts, okay. So let's try to write the script. So we have only one editor called veditor in the Linux, okay. So we have to make use of the same thing to write any code. So it would be better if you could extend your shell script with the .sh for easy identification, okay. Open this, okay. As you know, veditor, I not explain again. So you can write the shell script, okay, in the first line itself, echo That's it guys, this is what your script, nothing else. Hello world. So it is printing something on the console. Now here, if you could have looked at, this is not like a programming language to start with some sort of import statements. In C it is a hash include stereo.sh. In Java it is public importing some packages, okay, then start with the main class and all. See, it's not like that. It's a very lightweight language. On the fly you can write the code in the first line itself, okay, and you can execute it. So echo is not some code, it's a command actually, okay. See, shell scripting is a combination of commands with some logic, that's it, okay. It's pretty straightforward. If people know Linux commands very well, learning the scripting is pretty easier, okay. That's the reason I train you guys Linux first, so that you should be familiar with the Linux commands, okay. Then you can come back to the scripting side and you can work on it, okay. Now this is what your hello world guys, nothing else, okay. Now try to compare it with your programming language. What do you do next after hello world? Okay, so somebody may say we wanted to read something from command line, okay, read input, okay, and store it in variables. Mostly people say variables, okay. Variables nothing but data types. So in C language and all, you have some sort of a data types called integer, string, float, etc., blah blah blah, okay. But when it comes to shell scripting, right, okay, you don't have data types, you have only one type, which is string, okay. You don't have a character, numeric, okay, and string and all. You don't you don't have any kind of like other types. You only string type, and that too you not to define in the beginning. You can define your variables anywhere in your script, okay. So let's try to define some variable called x equal to 10. I know to specify string in front of it, or I know to specify int or whatever in front of it, okay. I can just declare key value paste, left hand side equal to right hand side, okay. The x is the variable name and the 10 is the variable value, okay. Now somebody asks you to, like, could you please print the x value? How to print that? Echo x value is, you have to suffix it with or prefix it with a dollar, okay. So that will fetch the value of your x. Just like in a C language, you print it with the help of what do you call percentage d, right, okay. So something like that. sh hello, can you see x value is 10? It's printing the value, right. Now so we could able to declare something. You might be thinking 10 is a numeric. No guys, it's not a numeric. It treats like one character, zero character, okay. So if you want to declare a string y equal to hello, okay, can you see y value is hello? That's it. So you can get the x value, y value. These are all strings on it. It's not. Now after this, you might, okay, people, I mean, let's compare with your program, okay. Now I want to read this inputs not from the declaring inside the script. I want to read it from the command. So how to do that? Okay, same hello world, I'm enhancing it, okay. So I'll just try to comment out these things guys, okay. Sorry, hash is a comment in the shell scripting, okay. So just like a double slash in your C language and Java language, okay. Now I just commented this. Now I wanted to read x and y values from runtime. Runtime nothing but like scanf in your C language, okay. Read x nothing but the read is a parameter keyword which will read the x input from the command line when you're executing this script, okay. So let's try to see this. sh hello world.sh. So it is hanging nothing but it is looking for some output 123. Can you see x value 123? So it stored it, okay. So similarly you say one more time read y, okay. So what do you mean by this is now two times it will hang. 123 is x, qtry is a y. Can you see this? rtyq whatever some value, okay. So to make it much user friendly, what I will do it, echo enter x value read, okay, echo enter y value, okay. Now have a look at this. enter x value 123.4, enter y value hello. Can you see this x value and y value is printing? So this is how you can read the inputs from the runtime, okay, and you can fetch them and you can print them, okay. Now once this is done, what do you learn next? Okay, so once reading is done and storing them, so people wants to do some sort of arithmetic operations. Okay, the very basic things, arithmetic operations. You might be know it in C and Java language and all, but my intention is to explain you the same syntaxes in the shell script. So how to do that? Let's keep this script aside. I'll open another file, arith.sh. Come on. Okay. Now x value is 10, y value is 20. Somebody asking, could you please add both of them and show me the output? Okay. Let's take C equal to $x plus $y. This is what you do it in any other programming language, right? You fetch the values of two operands, okay, and do it with the plus operation, which is arithmetic addition operation, okay. And finally, what you will do it, echo total is or C. That's it. Okay. Now sh arith.sh. Is it correct? Total is 10 plus 20. Okay. It's absolutely wrong. So it is not 10 plus 20, it is 30. But I told you, shell scripting treats everything as a strings. Okay. So it is not treating like integer value like 10 and 20. It is treating something like 1 0 and 2 0. Okay. So how do we do that then? Okay. So we cannot, we can make use of shell commands to perform this. So if you remember the Linux session, expression is a command where you can perform arithmetic operations. Can you see from command and expression 2 plus 4, okay, or 2 plus 43, 45. So what I will do it, I'll make use of this in my shell script, okay. So you can introduce any Linux command in your shell script, okay, with the help of a character called backwards. Inside the backwards, okay, put in the backwards now expression and make sure you need to provide spaces over here, right? Just do this. Now try to perform sh at the .sh. Can you see 30 now? So now what is happening in the script? So it is trying to put that statement in the shell, okay, execute it in the shell, fetch the value, okay, and assign it to the C and print it, okay. So that's what's happening here in the simple shell script, which is performing arithmetic operations here, okay. So come down. Now similarly, I want to do the multiplication here. X. Okay, let's see. Can you see syntax error? Okay, when you find this kind of bugs or errors in your shell script, okay, try to perform what is happening with your arithmetic command. Earlier it is working, 2 plus 3, it is working fine. Okay, when it is a multiplication operator comes, right, it is throwing syntax. The reason it is, in shell, right, hashtag is having a special meaning, okay, which is nothing but all. So you have to escape that its default behavior with escape character called slash. If you put this, it will give you the right result. So put that even in your script, okay, to get the right value. Right, 210 into 20. So this is how we can perform some sort of arithmetic operations, right? Next, once you're done with the arithmetic operations, guys, can you help me to proceed further? What you will be learning next once you're done with the variable declaration, reading from the input, doing some arithmetic operation? What do you learn in any programming language? Somebody might be going to some programming language, right? In your, at least in curriculum and all.
Functions and all,
Come again?
like passing string or something.
Uh,
Functions.
oh, you are directly jumping into functions. Okay, before that.
Loops. Before that, loops is important.
Okay, okay, you're again jumping into some more topic loops. Before the loops.
Before the loops.
We can check for any conditions, or we can call any external commands, or
Yes, something like that. So mostly like conditional statements. So once you are done with reading some inputs and performing arithmetic operations and all, mainly we need to check conditional statements. Okay, so conditional statements is the most important one for any programming scripting language. So conditional statements. Okay, as you might be already aware of the conditional statements in the C, Java and all, it is the if condition. Okay, so the typical syntax of if condition is something like this. You write a condition inside and you will be having the a block of code and you write your statements here. Okay, so this is what the typical syntax of your if condition in the programming languages. Okay, and where if the condition is true, it will jump into the block. If the condition is false, it comes out from the block. Okay, so if it is a true, then only it executes the statement. If it is a false, it will come out from the if block. Okay, that's what the main condition means. Okay, now same condition, okay, in shell scripting, how do you write it? Okay, see, the concept wise it's the same, guys. We are not learning anything new. We are learning the same thing what you've gone through in our education, or some trainings and all with respect to programming language. Same thing we are doing with the shell scripting, only the change was the syntax of presentation. Okay, now look at this. I'm writing the syntax of if condition in the shell. Okay, you write a condition here. Okay, and if the block is not with a floor basis, it will be with the then. Okay, and it ends with the fi. So you write your statements here. That's it. Okay, this is what the syntax in the shell scripting is. Okay, now I wanted to give an example for this. Okay, vi if.sh. Okay, echo example for if statement. Okay, somebody is giving you an input of echo enter x, enter a, read a, echo enter b, read b. You are reading a and b. Now somebody may ask you a question, could you please print the biggest number in a and b? So in these kind of situations you have to come up with if condition. If $a is greater than, so I hope you understand what you mean by greater than. Okay, $b, then I would say echo $a is bigger than $b. Okay, fi. So this is what my typical if condition. Let's see whether this works fine or not. Sh if.sh, enter a 123, enter b 12. Of course 123 is bigger than 12. This seems to be correct. Now let's see reverse. 12 123. Is 12 is bigger than 123? Absolutely not. Okay, so your script is good. Okay, there is no error, but there is a functional error is there. So what exactly the error is?
We did not write the express over here. How can it's understanding it's a string, right? You said $a, $b.
Yeah,
So in this case, no need of express.
no,
That
no, express is only for arithmetic operations. Are we doing any arithmetic operation here? No, right? Arithmetic nothing but addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and all.
so rest of the cases it will read as a value.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it will read as a no. It will read as a string only. Wherever it is a string, even here it is reading like a string only. Okay,
So if it is string, then how can it's compare?
no, that's what the bug, right? So that's what I'm trying to show you here. Is it correct then? 12 is bigger than 123. No, right?
No.
Okay, that's what it's a bug actually. Okay, so now I want to show you the proper conditional statement, okay, which is not going to be this kind of symbols. Okay, so the symbol is going to be okay, so like this. If you want to compare as a numerical operator, okay, see, I wanted to treat this like a numerical operator. So this is not numerical operator. Greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, this equal. I hope everybody might be knowing of these operators, okay, in your programming languages. Okay. Now, since this is greater than and all, these are the programming language operators. Okay. Now, in scripting, right, especially in the shell, okay, the shell, the same thing is represented like this. The greater than is represented with the hyphen gt. G nothing but greater, T nothing but than. Okay. And similarly, the less than is represented with the hyphen lt. Okay. And of course, you can guess the remaining things. Okay. So this is going to be hyphen ge, greater than or equal to. Okay. And this is going to be hyphen le. Okay. Hyphen on. Okay. And this is going to be, it's not EE guys, it's going to be EQ, equal, okay, and this is going to be not NQ guys, this is going to be NE, not equal, okay. So instead of using this operator, okay, so try to use hyphen GT, then it works absolutely like a numerical conditional operator, okay. Check it out now. 123, 12, yes, 123 is bigger. Next 12, 123. Can you see it is not even going to the if block? As I told you already, if the condition is true, then only it will go inside. Otherwise, it will jump out. So it jump out and it is not printing the statement here, just like this. Okay. So that's what the correct operators. These are called the proper numerical operators. Shell numerical operators. Okay. Right. Okay. Now there is one more type of if is there, guys. Okay. You might be aware of like the other type of if else. It's just an extension of if condition, guys. Okay, so you will be having if like this, and finally then else, right? So you put some statements here. Right. So what do you mean by this type of if is, if the condition is true, it will go into this statement that you know it anyway. If the condition is false, it go to the else block. So any one block will be definitely executed in the if else. Okay, but in the normal if it is true, then it will execute the block, otherwise it will skip and continues. Okay, so this is called the if else statement, and same if else you can write it in the shell code as well. Okay, it's pretty much same, guys. I'll just change this. You put else, that's it. Okay, so this is what your if else in the shell script. Now let's see this as an example. Okay, now execute this if.sh.
No, there is a syntax error there, spelling Dan.
Oh really? Yeah, it will show. Okay, where is it? I don't see any syntax error here.
No, I mean spelling. Oh, okay, that's echo, that's fine.
Okay, yeah. Nah. Okay, just look at this 123, 12. 123 is bigger than 12. Next, 12, 123. Now this is in the else block, guys. 123 is bigger. Okay, so it anyway executing some statement, whether it's a true or a false, because if condition will be definitely executed if it is having a else block. Okay, that's called the if else block. Okay, now similarly, you might be thinking, okay, this is numerical. How about like strings? Now somebody may give you this kind of things. Okay, sh hello is my A input, hi is my B input. Can you compare like hello is greater than hi, which is impossible. Like strings you cannot do greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. It's not a proper conditional checking actually. Okay, for strings, right, if it is a plain string, you can perform only two operations. Okay, only two types of operations, two types of conditions. Okay, what exactly it is, either equal or not equal, that's it. Okay, you say whether hello is equal to hi or hello is not equal to hi. That's it. Okay, you cannot do greater than, less than, and all. Okay, so when it comes to equal and not equal, what are the respective operators in the shell? Okay, so in even shell it's the same, guys. Okay, there is no change. So let's see this. I'll do one thing. I'll just skip this aside. I'll write if sorry, then echo $A and $B are C, else not equal something. Okay, guys, what do you mean by exit 0 is it will not continue the script execution from there onwards. Okay, it will just come out from there. Okay, so I'm not executing the second block of code. Okay, enter A, hello, enter B, hi. Unexpected error. Why? Guys, anything wrong here? Put it in the double quotes. As such, such, hello, hi. Unexpected error, line number 8. Line number 8. Why? Unexpected operator. Why? This is a valid operator, right? Let's see this. Hyphen EQ. LA not equal. One second, guys. This is a Ubuntu shell. Let me check it in an RHL shell. That should work actually without any issues. VDA echo entry $A equal to $B, and then echo both are same, hence echo not equal. Okay, F5 sh a dot sh hello hi. This is proper. Something wrong with this shell type, guys. I'm in Ubuntu machine. Okay, not sure what is the respective syntax of it, but if you look at this shell in the sent voice, okay, but there is no syntax error as per the given syntaxes from the shell. So look at this. This operator is a string operator, absolutely string operator. It should work actually. sh a dot sh. I'm just giving hello, hi. Both are wrong, so not equal. Now let me give the right ones. Okay, hello, hello. See, both are same. Okay, so this is how the string operator will work. Okay, so equal and not equal, both of them. Okay, so these are the different types of operators in the conditional statements, and there is one more condition statement is there, guys, which is the nested if. Okay, so nested if is something like, if you get a chance to work on multiple conditions. Okay, now I'll give you one example. Somebody may ask you a question like, could you please write a script where you should accept two operands and one operator, nothing but three inputs totally. So I will enter A and B, and the third input is going to be add, another input, add nothing but you perform add, and I'll do something like this. I'll enter two operands like A and B, and I'll give you subtraction. So you should have to perform subtraction. So if you have this kind of requirement, how do you perform it? Okay, so in those scenarios you can make use of a nested if function. Okay, condition. Okay, you do this, and once your condition is done, okay, so you will be having something called else if. Okay, and you check here, see whether it is add or not, you check it here. Okay, the third parameter, and here you check whether it's subtraction or not. Okay, and similarly another else if. Okay, else if. Okay, another condition, and here you check something else like, whether it's multiplication or not. Okay, and finally you're done with all the checks, and then it ends with else, right? So here you say like, some wrong condition or whatever. You can say whatever you want. Okay, so what do you mean by nested if is, see, if the condition is true here, it'll jump into this block and execute this. Okay, once it is done, it will skip all these if conditions. Okay, it will come to the end again, and if the condition is false, it checks the second condition. If it is true, execute this and skip everything. If it is false, come to here. So until unless the condition is successful, it will keep on check all the conditions. That is what the nested if. Okay, now same nested if, let me show it here. I'll make use of this machine only, guys. This is good. I don't know what exactly the problem with that. Shell. nested.sh.
Are you doing on RH shell now
Yeah.
instead of
Yes.
bash?
Yes. You are right.
Okay.
Echo. Enter a. Ready. Enter B. Echo. Enter operator. Don't worry about the spelling mistakes, guys. Okay, that's not our main intention. Okay. Now let's write the nested if condition. Okay, if $op is equal to, if it is an add, if you try to pass add right now, then I want to perform C equal to in expression. Okay, $a is $b. That's it. If it is not add, if it is something else, then it will be elif. Look at the syntax differences. Okay, it is else if in the regular programming language, here it is elif. And same again, if $op is going to be subtraction, then C equal to expression A minus B. Elif, again another condition I'm writing it. It's going to be multiplication and then C equal to expression $A. As you know, it should be appended with the slash operator because it's a special character. $B. And finally, I'm done with all the conditions. Okay, then it will be ending with else block, just like normal programming language. You say you have entered, you give some message, you have entered the wrong message. Okay, wrong operator. Okay, and it ends with F5. So this is how a nested if will end, okay, and you print total. Okay, so let's try to execute the script. Sh nested.sh, enter A 123, enter B 456, and operation add. Is it correct? 123, 456, 579. Of course it is correct. Okay, now let's perform 112 into 12. Okay, I want to say multiplication. Okay, so there's something wrong with the multiplication syntax. Let's see what happened here. So if you clearly observe, we missed a space over here. That is a culprit. Give a space. Try it again. 12, 12, mul. So 144. It's absolutely correct. So let's see one subtraction. 123, 12. Subtraction. Correct 111. Okay. Now let's see some wrong operator. 123. This thing. See, you have entered a wrong operator. I enter empty and operator has a 45. Okay. So this shows a custom base is called you have entered a wrong operator. So this is how you write a nested if. Okay, a nested if simple example. Okay, now we have pretty much covered all the types of ifs. Okay, so these are the types of if conditions which you see it in a typical programming language. Okay, now once you're done with the if conditions, okay, next what you will learn? Conditions are done, guys. Okay, anyone remember what you will learn after the if conditions in any programming language? Somebody said
Usually we call the executing statements to be executed from outside the shell. Like if the condition is met, go and connect to the database and do this or get the output from that, like that.
okay, see, it's let me tell you one thing. Whatever the operation which you want to do it, like connect to a database and fetch something, right? See, this again is shell command. You're not doing anything else. If you wanted to put some shell command in a shell script, you have to keep it in a form of backcodes. Okay, suppose somebody may ask you a question where echo hello hi a.txt. See, there is a file called a.txt in some location called home ECT user. Okay, now in using your shell script, could you please print how many characters are there in the a.txt? Okay, see, those are all the things we can do it with the help of the Linux commands only. Shell scripting is a combination of all Linux commands together, keep it in a one file and execute it. See, how do you get the number of lines in this file? I cannot do database thing right now because I don't have a database and all here. Okay, see, even the database thing I'm giving example. How do you fetch it? MySQL -u and the username -p and the password, okay, and fetch some data into some file and do the things. It's a query again. Same query, you have to put it in the your shell script in a backwards. That's it. Okay, now look at this. I want to get the number of lines from the a.txt, number of characters. Okay, a.txt wc minus c. I got this 9, right? So how do I get this value in my shell script and print it? Okay, you try to open this nested if, okay, and some script, say like total, okay, lines equal to, you have to introduce that in a format of backcodes, okay, and then echo $lines, you print it. Okay, so this is how you can run an external command, okay, in the shell and get the output. I can do it. That's what we are doing with the expression. Okay, it's pretty much same thing. Nested.sh 123 and whatever. So can you see lines anywhere? Is it printing that? Can you see 9 it is printing? What is 9? The number of lines in that a.txt. For a better user interaction, I will do one thing. Instead of echo lines, I would say lines colon, so that you can see in output. Can you see lines 9? So what do you mean by this is any external operation which you have to do it with the help of the Linux commands only, and those commands you have to introduce in the shell script in a form of a backwards. Okay, so instead of cat this thing, you put your MySQL database command, whatever the command which you use it to fetch the data from the command line, right? So that command you keep it here and get the data and process it. Okay, so shell is not having that kind of a capability to access your database drivers and all. Okay, it's a very lightweight language, so you can make use of the system default commands and you can combine them in your shell scripting by introducing in the backwards. Did I answer your question? Krishna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, let's proceed further. Now my question was, what you will learn after the condition statements in any programming language? Anyone remembers?
Loops, sir.
Yeah.
For loop.
Yeah, you're correct for loop identity, but you missed one topic. Anyone remember switch case? Okay, so
Yes.
switch case is another condition statement only. It's not a loop, it's a condition statement. People will be confused like, why we have a switch case? Okay, I mean, people may think like, what is the main purpose of switch case? See, switch case is something like a duplicate case. See, whatever is the nested if is doing it, right? Okay, same thing is done by even a switch case. Okay, so the only advantage with the switch case is, okay, see, I'll write the syntax here. Switch choice. So typical programming language syntax. Case 1, okay, statements, break, okay, break, okay, 2, let me call it as a add, subtraction, multiplication, okay, and finally you will be having something called uh, default. I didn't know what is that syntax of it, I'm just saying default. So say not a valid choice, something like that. Okay, so look at this, it's pretty much same like a nested if only the difference is you put every condition in a form of a case, okay, and you execute a set of block of code. Okay, so in switch case, right, if you pass choice as the add, it will execute this case and breaks and comes out here. It will not execute anything else. Similarly, subtraction, it executes this and comes out. Similarly, multiplication, if you enter something wrong, it will go to the default and runs this thing, okay, and comes out, right? So whatever the nested if is doing, this is also doing. But the main difference which you can see between both of them is in nested if, right? Okay, suppose if you entered multiplication, okay, in nested if, just compare it in the nested if you enter the multiplication, okay, you know what will happen? First it checks the addition, condition fail, then come check the subtraction, condition fail, then come over here, then multiply. Nothing but it is spending 1 millisecond here, 1 millisecond here, and another millisecond. So think about tomorrow you have 100 conditions, okay, to come to the 100th, I mean 99th or 100th condition, okay, it should undergo total 98, 99 all prior conditions checks, then comes there. Okay, so that will give you too much of performance issues when you see the very complex and large applications. Okay, so that's the reason if you have more number of conditions, right, you better go for the switch case. In switch case, what will happen, you can write 100 cases here, whether first case or 99th case, it takes the same amount of time, 1 millisecond. That's it. It will jumps it. It will not check each and every case for just like a nested. That's what the main difference between switch case and the nested if. Okay. Other than that, everything is same. Okay. Let's try to write the same code in the switch case, right? Okay. And when it comes to the shell scripting, we don't call it the switch case. We call it the just case in shell. Okay. In shell. So I'm writing the syntax over here, guys. Case.sh. Okay, so case statement syntax. Okay, echo and a right op. Now case $op in this was the syntax. Okay, and if $op is add, okay, then what I will do it, echo I'm inside the add case, okay, and you perform your statement c equal to whatever, okay, expression $a plus $b, okay, and once you're done with your expression, and you have to write it with a double semicolon that represents a break in your typical programming language. Okay, the double semicolon represents a break. Now you can write another case. Okay, so I'll just do the copy paste case. Okay, same code, no difference. Okay, and finally the default is represented with a hashtag here. Okay, so other than these three cases, if you try to enter anything, you can say straightforward wrong choice. That's it. And case will end with the reverse of case, just like if ends with fi, right? Reverse of case is going to be isac. Okay, isac is nothing but reverse of case. Just save it. sh case.sh 123 12 add. See, I'm inside the add case, so it is going to the right case. It is not printing the output, guys, because you are not printing actually. It is doing the operation, you are not printing. Echo total per c. Okay, 124 12 add. Can you see total 136, and similarly 67 30 multiplication. Okay, some positive value. Okay, and blah 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 blah. So can you see wrong choice? So this is how you can perform whatever you did with the Nestedif. Okay, that's called a switch case, guys. Okay, the syntax of switch case. See, we are learning only syntaxes here. Okay, see, when it comes to the practical world, these syntaxes will help you to write the scripts. Mostly, like, you should have a proper logical skills, logical thinking skills. Okay, see, example, guys. See, I would say somebody may give you a question. Could you please print the biggest number in the given three numbers? I just shown you two numbers. Okay, think about the logic. Okay, see, the logical representation, you can do it with your own stuff, like you can write algorithm, you can write your own way. Okay, but when it comes to representation, you think about which language you are using. Is it a scripting language? If it is a script, which type of scripting, shell or perl? If it is a programming, which language? See, representation is pretty easier once you go through with syntaxes and all. It's a one-time job learning the syntaxes, but thinking logically, coming out with a solution is little tricky way. For that, we should have a proper logical thinking skills. Okay, example, I will say, write a logic to print the Fibonacci series, write a logic to print the prime numbers. Okay, see, these are all you might be gone through in your childhood. Okay, but the thing is, I'm not concerned about the scripting or programming. I'm concerned about the logic. Okay, so here in this session, I'm not considering the logic. I'm considering the syntaxes, because I'm assuming you know the logical skills. Okay, you know the logical thinking, and you know how to write a typical code in a form of a kind of algorithm. I don't want syntax. I don't want any kind of representation of any program. Okay, you give me a solution. Okay, and the representation, you take my syntax's help and represent in the shell script. That's it. Okay, so that's the reason I'm showing the same example with the different things. Okay, tomorrow you may get a chance to, like, do some other example. Okay, don't say we are not gone through that. Okay, see, if you keep on say each and every example, there is no end for this. Okay, so we are there here to learn the syntaxes only in the shell scripting. Okay, now that's with the switch case. Okay, now what else you have it? I mean, somebody already go through it. Loops, you're absolutely right. Next you will see the loops, guys. Okay, so loops is the most important statement in the any programming and scripting. Okay, see, mostly the programming languages are popular because of the loops. Okay, because see, loop is nothing but what, if you want to perform a task n number of times, if you do it manually, you have to repeat the same task n number of times. Okay, same thing if you write it with the one single statement and give how many times you want to repeat it, right? That's called a loop. Okay, see, a set of statements executed, okay, in n number of times until one condition is success or failure. Okay, that is a typical definition of a loop. Okay, and let's see what are the loops available in your typical programming. Okay, I hope most of you know the while loop, okay, and do while, and for loop, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I know only these three types of loops, guys. Okay, in programming language, but similarly when it comes to shell, you have while and for only. You don't have a do while here in the shell. Okay, so let's see the while syntax, guys. okay, and statements, and here condition. That's it. So this is what the typical while loop condition. Okay. So what do you mean by this while loop here is until this condition is failure. Okay. Until this condition is failure, the statements in the while loop will be keep on executing it. Okay. So what do you mean by this is if the condition is true, it will go inside. If the condition is false, it will go outside. Okay. So if the condition some point of time should be fail, nothing but false. Okay. To come out from this block, otherwise it will go to the infinite loop. Okay, so it would be better I show an example in the script, then you can understand much better. Okay, so what is the syntax in the shell? While square braces condition, okay, do done. It's not do while guys, it's do. Where am I? Statements. Okay, so this is what your typical syntax in the shell scripting. So let's see this. Okay, now somebody may ask you a question. Echo hello world. Could you please print hello world 10 times? Okay, writing echo statement 10 times is a kind of a very beginner scripter, okay, who don't know anything about loops and all. Okay, it's not a proper optimum solution also. Okay, and somebody may ask you to write it 1,000 times, you think again. Okay, see, writing it 1,000 times doesn't make sense actually. So in those scenarios you have to make use of a loops concept. So I'm making use of a while and condition do done. Now I'm a little confused here. See, how do I print 10 times this? Okay, so for that I have to prepare a condition here. Okay, so condition nothing but the loop should go 10 times into the loop and 11th time should come out. Okay, so nothing but I should have some condition which makes my condition fail at the 10th 11th iteration. Okay, so for that let me take a variable called I equal to 0, some variable. Okay, now I would say if $I, okay, is greater than 10, okay, then just come out. So initially what is I value? 0. So is 0 is greater than 10? Yes. Okay, so it will go inside the loop. If okay, so if I just try to run this script, right, you know what will happen? It goes into the infinite loop. If you want, you can check it out. As such, void out as such. What happened? Is 0? Oh, sorry guys, it is not greater than 0 is not greater than 10, right? It is false, it will go outside. Okay, so treat it as like less than. Okay, it is an infinite loop. Okay, but I wanted to break this condition at some time. The some time is after 10 iterations, not infinite. So how to do that? Okay, see, I have an idea. See, I want to go inside this loop 10 times, but 11th time I want to come out. So nothing but to come out to the 11th time, I have to make this condition false. Okay, the condition, if you look at every iteration, 0 is less than 10, 0 is less than 10, 0 is less than 10. Always it is 0 is less than 10. There is no change. But what I can do, if I change the I value to something else, okay, so I have a chance to come out from this loop. So what I can do, I will try to increment the value with 1 so that, okay, at 11th iteration, okay, it will just come out. So let's try to increment it. Incrementing with 1, okay, I value equal to, incrementing is again something like, add an arithmetic operation, okay, $I plus 1. That's it. It's 10 times it is printing now. Okay, so this is what the logic to print a statement 10 times. Okay, now somebody may ask you, could you please print 0 to 10, something like that. Okay, see, there is nothing you need to change it here. Instead of printing hello world, right, okay, you just try to print your I value that is equivalent to printing 0 to 10. Right, 0 to 9 because less than, guys. So what do you do it? Make it as a less than or equal to, so that it will print even 10 also, or you make it as 11 this thing. Okay, So you can do anything, whatever. So this is what the typical while loop condition. Okay. Now I can ask you one thing. Could you please print even numbers from 1 to 20? You might be thinking like, how to print even numbers. Okay. First you should know what are the even numbers, 2, 4, 6 and all. Okay. So you know that the ultimate output of your program, but you need to represent that in a form of a script. So how to do that? So when I say even numbers, right, 2, 4 and all, okay, up to 20, right? So 0 is less than, let's take it as a condition 20. Now when I say 0 less than 20, it comes inside print 0, okay? 0 it's okay, whether even or doesn't, not even, leave it. So next time it should print 2, next time 4. So instead of printing, I'm incrementing I value with 1, okay, you increment with a 2. That's it. Your logic is done. You should know this kind of an idea how to get this kind of expression. I mean, writing expression is easy. You should think about the logic. Okay, how to get that. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, and all. And similarly, I just want to you try it out all the programs which you did in your curriculum in your engineering or somewhere, right? So you might be gone to C language to write a program to print Fibonacci series, factorial of a number, print a pyramid, okay, print the prime numbers, okay. So you try all of them. See, whatever you tried out, right? There's nothing new you are learning with respect to shell scripting. You're recapping your logical skills, but with respect to syntaxes, you do the same while same condition, nothing else you will be learning. So this is what I want to show to you, a simple while syntax with respect to some logic, okay. So please practice. I mean, to get hands-on on these things, right, you just have to practice it. That's it, okay. So you can try it out all my example what I gave it, okay. So always when you're writing some logic, right, don't right away take up a script and write it. Try to write the logic take a pen and paper and write the logic, and that logic is you represent in the form of a script or a program, whatever, okay. So come up with your logic first, then write it. Otherwise, writing a script and thinking logic later doesn't make sense, okay. Now that's about the while loop, okay. Now next to for loop, okay. So most of the people know for loop in any programming language, which is some sort of a equivalent of while loop. Only thing is you write it in a one statement, like I equal to 0, I less than 10, something like this, okay. I plus plus increment, okay, and floor basis. Here you put the your statements, right? So this is what your typical for loop syntax in your programming languages, okay. Now I don't I mean, see, in shell scripting, right, we don't have a similar syntax for the for loop, okay. We have a completely different syntax for the for loop, and we don't use the for loop for the same purpose which we use it for the while loop in I mean, for loop in the programming language, okay. It's a completely different purpose here. So let's see the syntax of the for loop in shell and what is the purpose of it in the shell, okay. If it's not same like a while, then what is the purpose of for in the shell, okay. So for example, okay, for input you can take anything, input in, okay. It can be anything, guys, not only input. I in 1 2 3 4, do, done, echo I value is $i. Now let's have a look at this for loop, okay. We don't have any condition here, we don't have any incrementation here. Clearly observe that, no condition, no incrementation, okay. But if you look at the for loop here, condition, incrementation, okay, and statements you have it, and some sort of a even declaration also we don't have it, okay. So what exactly it is there? No, this loop in shell scripting, it will iterate 4 times, guys. First time I value is 1, second time I value is 2, third time 3, fourth time 4. Okay, so let's try to execute, then you'll understand much better. Sh for sh. Can you say I value 1, 2, 3, 4? No condition, nothing, what is executed? You might be thinking maybe it is sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. No guys, it's not sequence. It's something like this. See, it need not be numericals. Hi, hello, how are you? See, look at this. How many elements are there after in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now try to execute your for loop. Can you see hi, hello, how are you? So I value contains every iteration, the input whatever you pass it. Okay, it can be 5 inputs or 10 inputs or 100 inputs, doesn't matter. Okay, now you might be thinking, why we try to print something by giving it here? What is the main purpose of it? See, the main purpose is not to print the state, the inputs which you gave it there. The main purpose is going to be something like this. Okay, see, somebody asked you a question. Say like, could you please print the list of files in the current directory using for loop? Okay, so what I can do, how do you print the list of files here? ls, right? You can see list of files here. Now what I will do it using for loop, I'll remove this. In backcodes, I'll put ls. What do you mean by ls is, it will execute ls in the console shell, and whatever the output is there, it will give it as input to my for loop. Now look at this, what will happen here. sh for sh. Can you see this? I value a.sh, I value a.txt, I value case.sh. So it is printing all the file names. Now somebody may ask you a question and they will enhance something else. Could you please print the number of characters in each and every file of current directory? This is what my requirement. Could you please print the number of characters in each and every file in my current directory? Okay, look at this script. See, these kind of requirements you cannot perform with the while loop. Okay, so you have to depend on this kind of for loop, which is much easier. Now look at this. I wanted to know count equal to wc minus c $i. What do you mean by this is the number of characters in that file. $i nothing but that particular file. Okay, so now what I will do it, echo $i $count. Okay, it will print you the file name and the count, guys. Just check it out. Can you see a.sh contains like 10. Oh, it is printing the file name also, guys. Okay, see, when I say wc minus c and a.sh, right, something like this, did you observe this? It is printing even the file name. So I don't want this file name to be printed, so what I can do it, cut minus f1. I can do this. Or okay, if cut is not working, you can make use of awk print $1. So this works. So what I can do it, this I'll append it in my script. Okay, can you see this now? a.sh 107 lines, a.txt 9, case.sh 334. Okay, jc is a directory, it cannot find the what do you call lines for the directory. So this is how I can sort out my requirements, which are can be sorted only with the for loop. Now if you clearly observe, this kind of requirement you cannot sort with the while loop, guys. It's a little difficult there. Okay, now you should be able to see the difference between for and a while. Okay, while is for a specific purpose where you can iterate as many times as you want until some condition is false. Okay, and here there is no condition here. Here the input is static. Okay, you are giving some sort of a static input, that's it, and it will iterate with the help of that input only. Okay, so that's called a for loop in shell. Okay, and it is not same for like in your programming language case. Okay, while is same but not for. Okay, so that's about the two loops involved, and I just want to tell you one more loop, but that loop is not there in the bash shell, it is there in the conch shell until, guys. Okay, So until is something like same like your while only the difference is, okay, if the condition is true, okay, it will go inside in the while loop, right? But here if the condition is false, it will go inside, okay. If the condition is false, it will go inside. If the condition is true, it will go outside. So that's the difference. Other than that, both are pretty much same, okay. There's no difference between both the loops, okay. I cannot give a demo of that until here because this is there in the con shell, not in the bash shell. Okay. So that's about the loops. Fine. Now what next? Guys, loops, you are done with the loops. What do you learn in any programming language apart from this? Anyone?
Arrays
Yeah, arrays is one. Yeah, okay. Next. Anything else?
and function.
Yeah, functions. You're absolutely correct. We are not left with much more. We are pretty much done. Functions. Okay, next. What? So let's see these topics. So before taking that, let's take a break of 10 minutes. It's now 9:12. We'll come back by 9:22, guys. Okay. Fine. Let's take a break and come back in 10 minutes. So let's see the arrays. So array is a collection of elements together in one variable. That's a technical definition. And if you go to the programming languages, you have a different types of arrays: integer, character, float, strings, and all. Okay. But when it comes to the shell, you have only one array. It's a plain array, and the default is a string array. That's it. You don't have anything else. Okay. So you define an array something like this. Okay. You can say like hello, comma, hi, comma. How you some elements, okay, with comma separated. Okay, so some elements you can define it, and every element is accessible with a index value, like a of 0 nothing but hello, a of 1 nothing but hi, okay, a of 2 nothing but how. So something like that you can access it. Okay, so these 0 1 2 3 4 are called the indexes. The same concept in your programming language. Okay, let's see the syntax first, then you'll understand much better. Array dot sh echo arrays example. Read a, sorry, not echo. Echo $a. Let's see what it prints first. Array. Something went wrong. It's not commas, guys. Might be space. Even I forgot the syntax of this. I don't think it's not a correct one. Just a second, guys, because I mean we rarely use the arrays actually in shell. There's not much weightage or purpose of arrays using in shell. Everything we do with variables. Array syntax in shell. Okay, it's a normal basis, not flower square. And there is nothing like this. Okay, so it's printing high here. Okay, so this is how we print an entire array. See, dollar flower basis array name, and inside the index, if you put hashtag, nothing but print all the elements of an array. Okay, if you want a particular element to be printed in an array, right? So you just do everything as usual like above. You say one. Okay, so now when I say one, right, it will be hello guys, the second one. You see hello. So because it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is how it starts, and you can take whatever the index value you wanted. Okay, now similarly the most important one is if somebody asks you how do you find the length of an array. So the length of an array nothing but it's a 4 actually here. The length of an array is a 4 dollar hash a sorry a star flower basis. This will print you the length. Can you see 4 here, the length? So if you put a hash in front of the array variable, then that will give you the length of an array, and individual indexes you can find with the number. Okay, and you can get the entire list of array list with the help of star. Okay, this is what the syntax is. With the syntax, if you want to explore more about the arrays, you can just try it out with the different experiments. Okay, somebody may ask, look, take an example. Don't give a hi hello. You try to provide 10, 20, 86, 90, some numerical numbers, and write a program to add the array elements. That's it. Okay. Now for that, right, you know how to declare an array. You know how to fetch index value. You know the length of it. If you want, you can iterate it. Okay, with the loop and you just have to come up with the logic. Okay. So we need to understand how to declare, how to fetch the values, how to find the length. So if you could able to know this, writing the logic is pretty easy. Now, if you want, you can try it out. Add the elements of integer array. Like instead of hi hello, you take the numerical and try it out. Okay, that's a kind of like hands-on program which you can do. That's it guys. We don't have two-dimensional, three-dimensional, or any kind of arrays. We have only plain array. That's it. This is about the string array, and here you can keep numerics or strings, whatever, it's up to you. Okay, so the next important one is the functions. Okay, so functions is the most important topic if you go to any programming and scripting language, because if you have a very complex program and you need to write the logic for multiple things, okay, and you have a requirement where you have to repeat same logic some 10 times, okay, and if you try to write everything in a one main file, right, main program in a main file, okay, there is no, I mean, if you try to write it, right, what will happen, you know what, see, if somebody looks into the file, they see a repetitive logic again, okay, and it consumes more space, more memory to load the entire script, okay, and for looking at the script also, okay, it will show you some sort of a redundant functionality, okay, and also if you want to make some change in the same redundant logic at one location, right, same change you need to apply at the 10 locations where you write it, okay, so that's a painful activity. Nothing but maintenance is a really big pain if you write the same logic multiple times in the same file. To avoid these things, right, we can introduce a concept called functions, or you can call this as a modules, okay, or you can call it as a subroutines, okay, or you can call it as a methods. So these are different names in the different programming languages, okay. When it comes to shell scripting, you call this as a function, okay. In a technical definition, function is nothing but a block of code, okay, which is written in a program and can be used multiple times, okay, or n number of times, okay, and provide the output for your main program. Something like, a reusable code which you are writing with the help of the functions, okay. The main intention of the functions is reusability, okay, and modularity, okay, and reliability, okay. So because of these three purposes, we are using the functions in any programming scripting language. As usual, we have to the shell scripting, okay. So how to define a function in shell scripting? So function add echo, say something, I'm inside, add function. Okay, so this was the typical definition of a function, guys. Okay, and one more thing I told you in the beginning, whenever you're writing a function, treat this like your file, guys. Okay, shell script file. You say echo hi, this is an example for functions. Okay, you call function add 10 20, you pass some parameters 10 and 20 to your function. Okay, and your function define it somewhere at the bottom, function add. Okay, so if you write a script like this, if you write a program like this works properly without any issues. In C programming, Java and all, you can declare a function and you can define it somewhere else. Okay, but when it comes to shell scripting, okay, or any scriptings are interpreter languages where you have to define the functions first. Okay, then you have to make use of it. Nothing but you first define them in the beginning. Okay, then you write the program. The reason it is, okay, instead of I am explaining the reason, I'll show it practically here. Okay, one second, guys. VA function echo functions. I'm calling a function with two parameters 10 and 20, and I'm defining the function here. Function add and insert the add function. Okay. Look at this. It is failing. Line number 4. You look at the program, line number 4, it is failing. The reason it is, the add is not a system variable or any shell variable, okay, to execute it, because when it is running the script, right, I told you interpreter scripting language executes line by line. It executed echo because echo shell knows it. It's not executing add because add is not defined anywhere prior. Okay, and here it is failing and coming out. So that's the reason what you're supposed to do, it never declare the functions in the beginning. Always you define your functions in the beginning and then you call them. Okay, then you call them. So what will happen, you know, so it scans this line, good, and it is scanning function definition, fine. Okay, it is treating like a function and scanning it, and when it's calling at add, right, it is already there in the memory because it scanned this prior lines. Okay, and it can call these prior lines properly without any issues because these lines are already there in the memory of your interpreter. Okay, so now you try to execute this function. Can you see this? I'm inside the add function. So this is nothing but like, you know, you wherever, I mean, if you look at anybody's shell script, okay, they will define the function definitions first and they write the main program at the end. If you look at whatever the shell script, your main program will be at the end, your function definition will be in the beginning. Okay, the reason it is, it's an interpreter language, it needs to scan all your definitions, then execute them in your main program. Okay, so that's the reason the function should be defined first and you write your code. Okay, now let's enhance these functions with your proper program. Okay, so you have written one program called calculator program, right, for the arithmetic operation. So let's try to perform the same calculator program with functions. Okay, echo enter A, B, case. I'm using even the switch case. If it is add, now what I'm going to do, it if it is add, I'll not do my entire logic in my main program. I'll call my function add. Okay, now I'll come here, I'll try to perform actual function logic here. Okay, and you might be thinking, how do you read the 10 and 20 inputs passed by the function? Okay, you can read them with the help of the parameters called $1 and $2. What do you mean by $1 is first parameter? What do you mean by $2 second parameter? If you want to pass third parameter, it will be $3. That's it. Okay. and echo total is $C. That's it. Okay. Now entire definition of my add function I'm putting into a block of code, and in my main program I'll be having just a calling function name add. That's it. Okay. So similarly, let's keep the functions for multiple arithmetic operations. Okay. I'm just making a few changes. Okay. And just come over here. No, don't say 10 and 20, guys. Anyway, we are reading the inputs, right? $A and $B. Take $A.
While explaining for loop, you use the AWK $1. Is that the same one? The file name was coming and you are trying to remove that file name, so you use something AWK $1. So is that the same? Like
1 second, guys. Oh, this $1 is awk related $1, guys, not the same $1. You remember the awk command? If you wanted to print the first column, $1, second column, $2. See, echo,
is that one?
yeah, hello, hi, how, okay, and say awk print $1. So here the $1 is nothing but hello. Okay, if it is $2, sorry, hi. So it is a column number actually, $1, $2, okay, not the parameter which I'm passing.
Okay, just ask.
Yeah, sure, no issues. Now I just prepared my case statement with the function calling names, and I don't write any logic there in my main program. My entire logic is there in the functions. Okay, and finally star. Sorry guys, wrong choice or wrong operator. Sack. Okay, just save it. Sh function .sh, just run it. So 123.12. Okay, now you say add. Check it out. Is it working fine? I'm inside the add function. It is calling the function and executing it. 45, 67 multiplication. Okay, I entered something wrong. Is it correct? Multiplication is failing for some reason. Let's see. Guys, can you find what is the bug? Can you see any bug here in the code? Can you see any bug there in the code? It's clearly visible, guys. I can see it.
Yeah, $A you did not read.
Yeah, thanks.
And the multiplication.
Yes, you're right. Right, okay. So now you should be able to understand. I mean, this is what, like, the proper script which you need to write it. Anybody ask any kind of logic, right? Always make use of the function. That's called the optimum way of writing the script, and it's really good best practice. Okay. So don't write everything into the main program, because tomorrow you wanted to do some sort of a changes in addition logic. Okay, if you want to change some addition logic, right, only the addition function will be impacting, nothing else will be impacting, the rest of the program will work fine. But if you don't use the functions, if you put everything in your main program, right, you know what will happen? If something wrong with the addition, right, remaining things will not work, because it's a sequential one by one. Okay, it stops at the addition and nothing will be executed. Okay, and if you wanted to implement some change in the addition, And if you have written everything in the main program and you repeated the addition logic 10 times, right, you have to perform the change in the 10 times. But here you just do it only one time, and wherever you call this function, it's the same thing. Okay, in order to do it multiple times. So that is what the advantage of with the functions. Okay, reusable code and modular code, and it's more reliable. Okay, now okay. Okay, so once we are done, see I shown you function, plain function, function with parameter. Okay, see if you don't pass this, it's a plain function. If you pass parameters, it's a function with parameters. Yeah, next. Okay, functions are done. So what do you think next, apart from functions? Anything you learn apart from functions in programming languages? Remember anything? Okay, so let me explain you. It's I mean, we are pretty much done actually. We don't have any kind of oops concept in the shell, like exception handling, multi-threading, blah blah blah. So okay, those are all the oops concepts. So for C++, Java and all, for typical programming language and all, we will be ending up with the functions only. So one thing I left the command line arguments. Okay, so command line arguments is most important part. What is command line arguments is? Echo first command. It's sh command dot sh. Okay, hello. If you pass something from script at runtime, it's not runtime, execute time. Okay, with your script, if you pass an input, that input you read with the $1. These kind of variables are called command line variables. If you want to pass another one, hi, you can pass it, and that will treat it like a $2. Like similarly, $3. So you can pass n number of inputs to your command line .sh, guys. Okay, I mean as a command line parameters. Okay, now equal second pair, not command. This is pair. First pair. Okay, and I would say ninth pair. Sh. First param is going to be hello, second param hi, third is 3 4 5 6 7 8 yy 9 op 10 11. Okay, please observe the inputs, guys. What is the first one? Hello, it's proper, no issues. What is the second one? Hi, it's proper, no issues. What is the ninth one? YY, it's proper, no issues. What is the 10th one? OP, it should print it. Can you see, is it printing OP here? No. The reason it is, the 10th parameters, it is treating like $1. See, when I say $10, right? Okay, it is not treating like 10th parameter, it is treating $1. What is $1? Hello and 0. Can you see hello and 0 here? So whenever you have a 2 digit command and parameter coming into the picture, so what you're supposed to do, don't write it like a $10. It will not read it with the original value. Give it in the flower braces. Now we try to execute this. Can you see 10th parameter OP now? Okay. So this is how you will be executing this command line arguments. Okay, these are the command line arguments. Now I wanted to walk you through with some special arguments. Okay, right. So these are the command line arguments called $1, $2, $3, blah blah blah. Okay. Similarly, we have some special shell variables. This is most important, special shell variables. Okay. What exactly these special shell variables are? Dollar, zero. Can anybody guess what could be $0? What is $0? Your file name. Okay, command.sh. So it is not command.sh. What are the script which you execute? So that's called a $0. Similarly, you have a few more shell variables. Echo dollar star. It's a self-explanatory, guys. What do you mean by dollar star? Nothing but all the list of command line arguments. Okay, next. Echo dollar at the date. Okay, so again, you might be seeing no difference between earlier output and this output. The only difference is this is in a string format and this is in a array format. That's only difference, nothing else. Okay, so this will treat like kind of an array. You can get with index values and all, and this is some sort of a string. That's only difference.
So what is 0? It will start. It will take the first value.
It is not. It is not the first value. $0 nothing but it's a file name. Can you see command.sh here?
It always the file name.
Yes, always the file name. Whatever the file it can be. Dollar. Now I'll just run this and you guess it what it could be. It is printing 11, guys. What do you think? 11?
Number of
command line arguments. It's nothing but length of the commands. I mean, how many parameters we are passing? I'm passing 11 total. If you really want to see the difference, remove the last one. It will be 10. Remove the last one. It will be 9. So $hash represents the number of command line arguments. Okay. Next. Let's guess what is $. Any guess?
size.
Do we have a 6971 size? The file?
No, not the size. Binary.
No, not exactly. I'll give you a hint. You should be able to find out.
Is it the process ID?
You're absolutely correct. It's a process ID of your command. Okay, that's called a $. Okay, so it will always changing, guys. Okay, process ID, because every command is a process. Okay, when it is created, it will be having one ID, and when it's completed and when it's again creating, it will be having another ID. Can you see 73, 74 and all? So that's called a process ID. No, the last and most important command line parameter is special variable, not command line, guys. $? Okay, guess it. It is printing 0. What do you think? It is 0.
Yes or no?
Not exactly.
Like 0, 1, yes, sir.
Mm,
False, true, false, we are.
I mean, in what sense?
In
Why
what
it is
sense?
true?
Why it is true? Like we are putting the condition in while loop something, right?
Uh,
True, then executing that. Question mark is
we don't have any while loop in this. I'm just printing. Guys, these special variables you can print on the console also. Echo dollar question mark. Here it is written
question mark.
zero.
Here it is written 0.
Okay, I will show you. I'll give a hint. I ran some command. Okay, now I'll run this. Showing 127. You should be able to guess now.
So the IP.
No. Okay. Now let me explain you. Dollar question mark will give you an exit status of your previous command. Okay. If it is zero, the previous command is success. If it is non-zero, and the previous command is failure. That's it. Okay. So if you want to believe it or not, I'll show you. Ls, it's a successful command. You try to run echo dollar question mark, it will give you 0, blah 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 blah. Okay, and run the same command, dollar question mark 127. Okay, and with respect to your script, right, command order says it is 0 because the earlier command dollar dollar is correct. Okay, no issues, so it is 0. I'll try to correct that. Now I'll remove e, guys. Here code, there is no command and all. Okay, and I'll print the dollar question mark at the end. Can you see dollar question mark 127 now here? Because the previous command is failure. Did you understand what is dollar question mark now? Guys, did you understand dollar question mark?
No, why 127 mark?
Okay, 127 is some positive value. Okay, if it is written some positive value, it's nothing but the previous command is a failure one. It's not a successful command. That's what the main meaning of the dollar question mark. Hello?
Yes.
See,
So it's not related to IP something, right?
no, nothing related to IP.
Nothing related to IP. Please explain this again. Last command.
Okay. ls minus l. Okay, now if I ask a question, is this command successful or not? What is your answer?
Yeah, it's success.
How you know that?
Because it gives the output, right?
Right, you see some output.
No error.
No error, nothing. Okay, because the console showing proper output. Now I'm automating this command in some script, guys. Okay, there's so many ls commands are there. I'm scheduling this command in the night 12 o'clock. Okay, and I want an email if the command fails. How do you know whether the command is failed or successful? It is difficult to understand. I mean, if it is difficult to know with the shell process whether the command is successful or not, because you are not there when it is running it. Okay, you're not seeing it. So in those scenarios, right, I need some shell variable which captures the status of my command. Okay, status of command nothing but it's simple, success or failure. Okay, so in shell, 0 nothing but success, non-zero anything other than 0 nothing but failure. That's it. Okay, so if you say dollar question mark, it says if dollar question mark contains 0 nothing but the previous command is absolutely success. Okay, so now you look at this lsl. Do you have any command like this lsd? No.
No.
Now you see 127. Okay, and if I run this thing again, it is becoming 0. Can you tell me why it is 0 now?
Because the previous dollar question mark.
This is a valid command. That's the reason it is 0.
It can be any number other than 0, right?
Yeah, any number.
Okay. Now what?
So this is all about the dollar question mark special variable, guys. And if you remember SVN, we have written a shell pre-commit hook. That's when we use this dollar question mark that point of time. Okay, to capture the exit status of it. And same thing we have written even in the batch. For information, let me show it in the batch also, guys. Error level. If it is 0, the previous command is successful in the batch. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, can you see some positive number 9009? right? So this is the batch. So every OS is having some sort of a variable like this, which capture the exit status of it. Okay. So if it is dir, a proper command, 0. Okay. Now let's come back. Okay guys, we are pretty much done with these things, and finally I want to give you one more important thing. Somebody may ask you a question: could you please accept a file name or a directory name, home Harry or home EC2 user? Accept a directory or a file, guys. Okay, accept something, okay, and say whether it is a file or a directory. That's it. Okay, so let me write a simple script for that. If -f $1, then equal the given is a file. That's it. sh test.sh home Harry. Sorry, EC2 user. See, is it printing anything? Nothing, because the given is not a file, it's a directory. So you try to provide a file now. a.txt. Can you see? The given is a file. So you look at the test.sh. The -f represents the given is a file or not. That's it. Whether it's a file or not. If it is a file, it will go inside the if block. If it's not a file, it will just come out. That's it. Now similarly, somebody may ask you to check. Please check whether the given input is a directory or not. It's same thing, only the difference is, look at it. If I'm passing a file, it is not going inside. But if I pass a directory, it is going inside, saying like a directory. It's a print statement, guys, file, but you can change it. Okay. So look at this. If it is a D, it is a directory. If it is a F, it is a file. Okay. So this is what I just wanted to show you. Now, yeah. Apart from this, only practice is left from you. Only thing is we just start to practice it. Okay. So as a good example, I'll just give one example, guys. Okay, and I have some exercise with me. I'll send that exercise with you in the PDF document. So please work it out. So before doing an exercise, I'll just give you one simple example. Somebody asked me a question. Write a script where you have to accept a password string which should have at least 5 characters. If it is having less than 5 characters, re-accept it. Okay, it's something, guys, you enter a password of 3 characters, but the password expression requires minimum 5 characters. Okay, so unless you enter the password 5 characters, it will keep on ask you, like, enter minimum 5 characters, enter minimum 5 characters. Okay, so once you enter minimum 5 characters, right, you come out and say thank you for entering 5 characters. So this is what I wanted to replicate in a form of a script. So how to do that? I'm writing a simple script, guys, for that. Echo enter a string password, whatever. Okay, so read $pwd. Okay, I'm reading the password. Now the thing is, how do I know whether he entered 5 characters or 6 characters or 2 characters? Okay, so I have to count the number of characters, right? So how to count it? Echo $pwd. You know what is echo? You know the expression. Okay, backquotes wc minus c. Okay, that's it. Now this will give you the count. If you wanted to see whether the count is proper or not, you just try to print the count and check it out. Don't write the script entirely at a time. Try to write it in snippets and test it and proceed. Test it and proceed. sh accept.sh. I'm saying hello, 5-6 characters. It is saying only 1, so something went wrong. Okay, so the count is not 1, right? Echo pwd. Okay, echo hello wc minus c. It's printing 6, but it's not printing 6 there. It is printing 1 there. Let me check why it is 1. Everything is correct. Any bug there in the code? Hello? It's printing one. It's printing one. Any bug? Can you find out? Any bug? Can you find out?
Space after the equal sign.
I found the bug, but you are not correct. Yours is not correct. Guys, please look at script, hardly 4 lines. There is an issue. This issue I faced many times while writing the script. How do you read any input? You shouldn't put dollar there. Okay, that's what the bug. While fetching the value, you have to put the dollar, but while reading it, it's not required. So, hello. 7 because one more L is there. Okay, so this is correct now. Now I could able to get the count. Okay, so once you get the count right, now I have to check the count. Okay, so if I say if count is less than 5, re-accept it. Okay, but even second time if I enter less than 5, I cannot write a number of if conditions, right? So instead what I can do it, as I told you the requirement, accept the string until and unless, okay, the user enters minimum 5 characters. So nothing until and unless, nothing but you have to keep on ask. When I say keep on something iterative, nothing but you have to make use of the loops. Don't make use of the if. So while $count is greater than or equal to 5. If it's greater than or equal to 5, do done. Okay. Echo enter minimum 5 character password. Okay, read it again, pwd. Okay, when you read it again, right, you have to count it again, right? So same statements you repeat it here. Okay, that's it. Your program is done, guys. Okay, you finally say thanks for entering 5 character password. That's it. sh accept.sh. Look at this. 2 character. Oh, thanks for entering. Something went wrong, guys. Look at the logic. Where is the bug? What is the bug?
Did not increment.
Okay. Here, why you need to increment, guys? See, incrementation is not a concept. Incrementation is not a concept because we are not doing through one by one. We are reading something and based on the count of it, we are proceeding. Let's see the output once. What exactly is? See, count 3. Okay. Is 3 is greater than 5? Guys, is 3 is greater than 5? Greater than 5?
No.
No. So the condition which you put is wrong. It should be less than or equal to. Okay. Until unless it is less than or equal to, you keep repeat it.
Oh.
Hi. It is again asking. Okay. You enter only 3 characters. See, actually it is 2 only, but it's taking new line also. So include 1 also. So 3. So you have to enter again minimum 5 characters. So some 3 characters again asking. Some 4 characters again asking. Okay. Now I would say hello. Can you see more than 5 characters came out? Okay, so this kind of small snippets which you need to write it, guys, while you're working with your automation and all. Okay, so this is just like practicing purpose. There are many things are there in the shell to practice it. All this will give you hands-on. See, in this entire script, you know what echo does, what read does, what while does. Okay, you know what are the operators, what is the command, everything you know it. But only thing is the logic is important. Okay, how do you come up with the logic? So that you can understand and learn only by getting hands-on and just by practice. Okay, you keep practice n number of queries so that it will be quite interesting to write logic. At the same time, your hands-on on the scripting will be more increased. Okay, see, just by having 1 hour session on the syntaxes and all, it's easy to even listen. Even you can go to some tutorials and go through this scripting part. My intention was think about how do you represent your logic in the shell. That's it. Okay, so write a logic, convert it into the shell script. Okay, because it's a kind of a brush up if you know any programming language in terms of with respect to shell. So with this skill set, right, okay, I told you in the beginning the deployment automation part, right? So we have to perform all these things. So my intention was, you're doing so many manual activities. These are all, to do it manually takes so long, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on application time. Okay, I don't want you to do it all these steps manually. I wanted to automate them with a single script. Okay, so I wanted to write a shell script which can does all these steps. Okay, bringing down the servers, deploying the DB, deploying the application, bringing up the servers, performing the spokes, everything I want to do with the script. So how to do it? So this is kind of like, real world application where you see an implementation in the scripting way. Okay, so somebody asks you to perform everything with the scripting and how to do that. Okay, so that part we will do to the next by performing manually. Okay, with manual deployment, and the same thing, all these steps I will repeat it with automation. Okay, so we'll come up with the entire automation framework using shell script to perform our deployments, guys. Okay, so with the knowledge of whatever we learned as of now in the shell script. So I mean, first time it is little tricky if you're a beginner kind of thing with the shell. So I would better request you to, like, practice as many scripts as you have it. Okay, it would be better, like, whatever the C programs you did it in your curriculum, right? Try to write everything in the shell. Okay, just for a practice. Whenever you find some time, think something logic and write it in the shell. So it will give you more hands-on. So that's how we can get more hands-on. Other than that, there is nothing is there to learn in the shell scripting. You know everything already, all the syntaxes. Only thing is the representation you have to learn it. For that, you should get hands-on. So, see, what are the script I'm writing it, right? I know where to give a space, where to give a new line, where to give some characters, because I have been writing scripts for so long. But when it comes to you take your fingers and keyboard and try to write a script. First couple of lines itself, you do some mistakes. Okay, so those mistakes you can correct it only by looking at the errors and by debugging it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to see. But just by looking at other script, it is really easy to understand. But when you write it right, you face actual problems. Okay, so I just want you to do more practice at scripting level, because without practice you cannot get the things. Other tools and all, it's easy to learn. Actually, administration of the Jenkins and all, pretty easy. But when it comes to scripting part, only practice can make you comfortable and, like, good to get the hands on.